Tokyo, July 17, 2025. As the 2025 House of Councillors election enters its critical phase, a heated national debate is brewing. Should the government prioritize direct cash benefits for low-income households, or implement broad consumption tax cuts to ease the cost of living crisis? At the center of this political tug-of-war are Japan's struggling single-parent families, many of whom say the time for debate is over. Help us now, is the growing cry echoing from communities grappling with soaring prices, stagnant wages, and fragile social safety nets. Political pledges. Money in pockets versus tax relief. On one side, the ruling Liberal Democratic Party (LDP) is leaning toward consumption tax cuts, arguing that reducing the 10% consumption tax to 5% would deliver universal relief to citizens and stimulate economic activity across sectors. A tax cut will help everyone, every day, at the supermarket, at the gas station, and even at the hospital, declared Prime Minister Fumio Kishida in a recent campaign rally in Osaka. However, the Constitutional Democratic Party of Japan (CDP) and other opposition groups say a broad tax cut spreads limited fiscal resources too thin. They are instead pushing for targeted cash benefits, especially for low-income households and single-parent families. We need precision, not generalization. A single mother working 2 jobs does not have the same spending power as a wealthy retiree, opposition leader Kenta Izumi told supporters in Saitama. The families behind the statistics. Behind the numbers and policies are real stories of hardship. I have 3 kids, and every month I choose between paying rent or buying proper food, says 35-year-old single mother Yuki Tanaka from Fukuoka. A part-time caregiver earning less than 180,000 yen a month, Yuki says she wouldn't feel the difference if taxes were cut slightly, but a direct payment of 100,000 yen would cover critical needs. People in government argue for months. Meanwhile, we suffer in silence. According to the Ministry of Health, Labor and Welfare, as of 2024, there were approximately 1.4 million single-parent households in Japan, with 84% headed by women. More than half of these families live below the poverty line, and many rely on multiple part-time jobs and public assistance to survive. The surge in food, electricity, and childcare costs since the pandemic has only worsened the situation. Where will the money come from? Whether through tax cuts or cash handouts, the cost will be massive. Reducing the consumption tax from 10% to 5% would cost the government an estimated 13 trillion yen annually, according to the Ministry of Finance. On the other hand, targeted cash benefits of 100,000 yen to low-income households could cost around 2 to 3 trillion, depending on eligibility criteria. Proponents of tax cuts say the government can finance the move through increased bond issuance and economic growth. A consumption tax cut stimulates spending, which boosts GDP, and eventually brings back tax revenue, says Keio University economist Haruki Yamamoto. But fiscal conservatives warn Japan cannot afford more debt. We already have one of the highest public debt levels in the world, over 260% of GDP. More borrowing without structural reform is irresponsible, said former Finance Minister Taro Aso in a rare appearance on national television. Others suggest redirecting funds from existing subsidies or defense budgets to welfare. However, with regional security threats rising and defense spending also climbing, that path is politically fraught. Bureaucratic delays. By the time help arrives, it's too late. Even if consensus is reached, implementation is not immediate. Experts warn that bureaucratic bottlenecks could delay any relief for months. Cash benefits require eligibility verification, bank transfers, and administrative coordination between municipalities and the central government. It could take up to 4 to 6 months before money reaches people, notes Kana Saito, a policy analyst at the Tokyo Institute of Social Policy. Tax cuts are quicker to implement, but their impact is less targeted. This delay frustrates voters like Hiroshi Nakamura, a laid-off truck driver and single father of 2 in Aichi Prefecture. They keep saying help is coming, but my electricity bill is due next week, he said. Hiroshi recently sold his family TV to afford groceries and said he no longer cares which party wins, just give us the help we were promised. Election dynamics. Playing politics with poverty. Many critics say the ruling coalition is dragging its feet in the name of politics. It's not a coincidence that tax cut proposals surfaced just as the election season began. They're designed to appeal broadly to middle-class voters, not necessarily to those in desperate need, argues Junko Mizuno, an independent journalist who covers social welfare policy. Indeed, polls show broad public support for tax cuts, with nearly 60% of voters favoring reduced consumption taxes over selective handouts. Yet among low-income households, more than 70% say cash benefits would have a greater positive impact. This division creates a strategic dilemma. Do parties cater to the general electorate or focus on helping the most vulnerable? Local voices rising. Municipal mayors step in. Amid national gridlock, some local governments are taking matters into their own hands. In Nagano Prefecture, Mayor Aiko Fujimura of Matsumoto City has already announced a municipal-level emergency payment of 50,000 yen to all single-parent households, funded through emergency reserves. We cannot wait for Tokyo to decide. Our citizens need relief now, she said at a recent press conference. Similarly, Osaka's mayor is piloting a food voucher program for low-income families through public-private partnerships. These localized efforts, though limited in scale, are gaining praise from advocacy groups nationwide. Experts call for hybrid solutions. Some economists argue the debate shouldn't be either-or. The ideal path is a two-tiered approach. Implement a temporary, moderate consumption tax cut to stimulate spending, while concurrently rolling out immediate direct assistance to the poorest households, says Dr. Rika Morita of Waseda University. Such a policy would cost more upfront but could provide both short-term relief and long-term recovery. It would also avoid alienating different voter groups during the tense election season. However, with election day looming, time is running out for bold decisions. A nation watching and waiting. For now, Japan remains in limbo. Political parties trade barbs in televised debates, bureaucrats crunch numbers behind closed doors, and citizens wait for relief that always seems just out of reach. Back in Fukuoka, Yuki Tanaka wipes tears as she prepares onigiri for her children with discounted rice and canned tuna. I don't need promises. I need help, today, not next month, not after the election. Her words echo the feelings of many across the country. Japan's election isn't just a fight over seats in the upper house, it's a fight for survival for its most vulnerable.